We're gonna press on with this this morning. What I thought about was I'm gonna scan this with the cutout like this, and make it as big as, well, make it to fit this whole space here. I'm gonna print it out on a transparency, and then I'm gonna use some of that spray paint and the spray paint remover, and I really essentially want this image to sort of get distorted. I want it to be visible still, but at the same time sort of distorted to give it an artistic element. After I manipulate this image, and this will go back here, and then it'll go on there. So now, hopefully it won't look as busy as it seems to here. With this background piece, the very back, I do want it to be lighter or faded or streaked or something. We'll see just how that plays out. Okay, I have no idea what I'm doing here. What I'm thinking about doing is I went ahead and add, this is turpentine actually, just use this container, because the problem I had with this stuff is even after today it's still tacky to the touch, so I don't want something that's not going to dry or take days to dry. I think the turpentine dries pretty quickly, so we'll see. Going to test something out on here. Using the paper towel to pat some of the image off. We'll see if that even works. I'm going to let it set for just a second. I don't know how this works compared to the other stuff. Seemed to work pretty instantaneously. So I don't know. I just want to see if it's going to pull some of the color off, and I think it's only pulling off what I had sprayed yesterday on that other stuff, so it doesn't seem to be removing. If you rub it, it removes. So if you give it a little effort, you can get it to come off. It doesn't come off so much just dabbing it, which isn't the effect I'm going for at all. So that's disappointing. I don't want that. There's a lot of fails in doing stuff. Okay, so I like the idea of the cream on there. So we're gonna go with this. Kind of takes too much off, but we'll see. So I sprayed just a little bit of the turpentine, not a whole bunch, because I think last time I put too much down. This may not work for this project, but it's kind of a cool effect. Not quite what I had in mind for this piece, but so now I'm going to go back to using this because I want to try some things. I don't know if this transparency can take much more abuse, but we'll see. Dousing it with a fair amount of it. I just wonder if it'll. That's pretty cool. How well you can see that. It looks like a mess, but it's actually kind of cool. I'm gonna mess around with this one and see if I can get it to streak some. So make sure you have it where the emulsion side is up, because obviously it won't work if you don't. See, it does pull some of the color off. There's a little bit of streaking, which I guess is what I'm looking for. I know you guys can't see this, but it's actually bubbling. Not exactly what I had in mind, but it's kind of cool. Might be useful in something else.
It does give it a nice worn look, which I really like. The ultimate failure in this one was it makes a huge mess of the transparency. I don't think you can really use that. To clean it up, I think would be more of a hassle than the image is worth, unfortunately. Because I think it's a cool effect. It just doesn't work. I would have to call this one a fail. I think what I'm going to do is flip it over. I've printed it out. We're at 50% opacity. So it's lighter to begin with. And I'm going to flip it over to the smooth side so the emulsion's on the other side. And see if I can do a little bit of effect with the spray paint without messing up the original image. Just not having any luck today. I don't think any of these are going to work. It's still a bit dark. And then this one is just not interesting enough. I think this top image is slightly bigger, which is not a big deal, but so that's what it looks like straight on. Okay, so now I'm playing with even changing it, not even having maybe that on there. Because maybe that's my obstacle, are these two pieces on the top. Maybe I just won't have anything on the top. So that's my conundrum right now, of maybe not having the 3. If I did that, I'd be having it off more. You know, and then cutting that piece. Having it off to the side. I don't know, but I think the 3, as much as I would like to have it on there, is just more problematic than it's worth. Unless I put it in the back as well. Let me try that. I don't know, it's a little more subtle, which I do like that. I think it just was too much. Maybe I need to emphasize the bird more and move that little piece. I don't know, I'm just going for simplicity, you know? I just don't want a lot going on in it. And then the crow came out so cool looking that, and it seems to be the nice focal point. I think having this faded piece back here ties in this front piece. It makes it a little less noticeable because there's something behind it. But I don't want to spray white behind it because I like the sort of the translucency of it. You know, coming over the bird there. I know it's hard to see, and then the reflection of the camera doesn't help. So I think I might go with this. I like it. I like the simplicity of it. So I think I'm happy with that. Okay, so now that I've settled on this, I have to stick it down. That is a bit of a challenge too, I think. I've tested out some plexiglass with some other scrap plexiglass that I had, and what adhesive would work best and not look bad. I can't say that it will be crystal clear. I'll need to probably test out one more piece just to see how that's going to look, because what I need to do, I tried this, which works great on paper. If you ever need to stick something down, this is great. But it doesn't work on the plexiglass and the transparency paper very well at all. They did stick together, but you could easily peel it off. And this, I don't know how, you know, long lasting it is, but it does stick very well, so I'm going to use it and hope for the best. And again, because it's sprayed on, it's gonna take away some of the clarity a little bit, I think.
I decided that I needed to spray a little bit more on the back to make it a little more opaque. The problem I was having with it before was that when I was standing it up, if it was in front of anything other than a white wall, it seemed to disappear in it. So this, I think, helps unify everything, and then you can put it in front of books or something. There's a little light that can come through it still. I mean, you can sort of still see my hand back there, so it's not completely solid. And then so I'm going to glue this on this side. I decided to move the crow up the middle layer because I think it adds a little depth. You get a little shadow depending on the way the light is, and in doing so I decided to move this up for the same reason, just to give it a little more depth. And then this guy was always here. I did spray varnish this because, you know, the card's almost 100 years old, and being on top, I thought, you know, if it was touched or whatever, it would just continue to deteriorate. So I think this will help preserve it a little bit longer anyway. So that's what I'm doing right here. So now we're going to glue it down. And I went ahead and signed it on the inside of this, so when I glue it down, it'll all be ready to go. Okay, so I'm just sprayed this. I'm going to put it right here. It's important to have some scrap paper to spray on. If there's any area that's going to fail and ruin the whole thing, I think this gluing it down is the area. Because I really don't know how the glue and the frame are going to work together. I mean, without really testing it out on this material, you don't know for sure. So there, that's together. And even though the frame does sort of lock into place with magnets, because it can be taken off, I am going to glue the bird down, just because I think, you know, this could get lost or, you know, whatever. So I'm just going to make sure it's all glued down. I'm just spraying off camera over here because it's close to the vent, and yeah, I tried to spray as evenly as I could. So it does make it a little more opaque. You know, it's maybe not a bad thing. I don't know. It's not my ideal. I could have cut the bird all the way out, but I guess there was a part of me that wanted to add some of that mist looking to it. Could have been a mistake, but there you go. See, it adds sort of a, oh, I don't know. I got freaking fingerprints on the sides. That's not good. Putting this on top. When this sets a little bit, I'll clean up a little bit around. I got a little spot of glue there, and I need to trim along here where some of the paper sticks out a little bit, but there you go. There you have it. It's finished.